Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB and today is the 1st of February 2024 and yesterday guys, that is the 31st of Jan, Federal Chair Jerome Powell did go ahead and make an announcement regarding the interest rate hike, and the decision by the FOMC committee was that the interest rate hike will remain unchanged. Now look guys, this is definitely a massive blow, not just for the financial market but also for the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now because of this news, the price of Bitcoin did marginally go down, but it's going to be really interesting to see how the market reacts, particularly over the next coming days and also over the weekend. And I wouldn't be surprised guys that this particular event might just set the stage for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, at least for the first quarter. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and discuss what the FOMC committee has discussed, and what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, in the show notes below, I've gone ahead and published the official article directly by the Federal Reserve Board website. So what I'd really strongly recommend you to do is, rather than listening to mainstream media or listening to influencers, look at the information from the first source. And apart from that, Jerome Powell did go live via YouTube as well. So in today's episode, I'll definitely go ahead and discuss what is it that was actually discussed during that session. And listen guys, whenever he goes live, there is also a question and answer session as well, where mainstream media asks him questions, asking him reason as to why he has gone ahead and made that decision. So really crucial information. So I'll definitely very briefly touch base on that. Now while that thing took place guys, there was a massive event that actually took place in the world of Ripple or XRP. Now listen, at this point of time the news is circulating that XRP has been hacked, which need not necessarily be true guys, because what has happened in reality is that Ripple's co-founder and chairman Chris Larsen's account has been hacked, and they have stolen approximately $112 million worth of XRP. Now look guys, Chris Larsen is one of the technical geniuses in it, and I'm pretty much sure he knows the best ways to protect his assets. So imagine his account being hacked. This is definitely a massive blow, not just for Ripple holders, but also for the cryptocurrency industry, isn't it? So I'll definitely go ahead and discuss what is going on so far as the hack of $112 million is concerned. So listen guys, whenever you're sharing this news, please make sure that you don't say that Ripple has been hacked. Rather, you should actually say that Ripple co-founder's account has been hacked. Now in today's episode guys, I'm also going to be discussing some news all the way from India. Now historically, India has had love-hate relationship, mostly a hate relationship with the cryptocurrency industry, and there is a budget which is being passed, and crypto enthusiasts is hoping that the current tax structure of 30% will be reduced. Now will that thing happen, or really I'm not sure, but in today's episode I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. Now look guys, if India does aggressively charge heavy tax on crypto, I'm pretty much sure a lot of them will be moving to other countries. And roughly around 2 months ago I did share an article where a lot of Indian entrepreneurs were actually moving to Dubai from the cryptocurrency world. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And guys, we have some news all the way from UK, and that is to do with seizure of £1.4 billion worth of Bitcoin. And guys, just yesterday I talked about German police, where they actually seized £2 billion worth of Bitcoin, isn't it? So it's a bit strange that since the last few days, I'm covering a lot of news where the government are actually going ahead and seizing a lot of Bitcoins. Now look guys, if you look at it in a positive way, this is the power of open source and open blockchain, isn't it? Because all transactions are publicly verifiable, and absolutely anyone can go ahead and validate and check these transactions. So those are some macro level news that I'll cover in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast guys, I'm going to be covering 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys, I really am not sure where blockchain technology fits into this, but the news is that DOH, or Department of Health Authority in Abu Dhabi, announces partnership with ADHDS and MSD GCC to experiment with applications of blockchain technology in healthcare. Now look guys, I'm definitely going to go ahead and share this news, and I'm going to give my honest thoughts if blockchain technology is a perfect fit for healthcare industry. Now the second news guys has to do with Saudi Arabia, and what Saudi Arabia is doing is they are launching a program or an initiative called as GenAI for All, and they're doing that at the Digital Corporation Organization. So I'll definitely go ahead and break more information regarding this news. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. So let's kick start with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and Metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the Metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the Statement of Corporate Social Responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now the global cryptocurrency market, guys, as of now is at $1.61 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is actually down by 1.75%. Now look guys, had Jerome Powell gone ahead and increased the interest rate hike, I'm pretty much sure that would have been catastrophic, not just for the finance world, but also for the cryptocurrency world as well. And if that would have happened, guys, the global cryptocurrency market would have definitely gone down to $1.4 trillion, or maybe even less than that. And later on, I'm going to go ahead and discuss, could it be possible in the very near future, let's say around March, Federal Chair Jerome Powell does go ahead and decide to increase the interest rate hike? That is definitely a possibility. Now guys, let me very quickly run through the crypto market volume, because the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours is at $63.78 billion, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 9.71%. Now listen guys, make sure you remember that I'm looking at these numbers literally 6 to 8 hours after Jerome Powell made the announcement. So these numbers are not because Jerome Powell has made the announcement, but it's just the immediate impact of the news, and I'm pretty much sure these numbers will drastically change in the next few hours, and I'm really curious to check how this number reacts, particularly on the weekend. Now so far as the volume in DeFi is concerned, it is a little shy of the $6 billion mark, and it is at $5.99 billion, and the total value locked, guys, is at $56.61 billion, and so far as DeFi is concerned, it is accounting for 9.40% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, and so far as total value locked is concerned, guys, we have a clear outright leader, and that is Lido, and it is dominating with $21.49 billion. Now the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, guys, is only at 20.09%. Now to be completely honest guys, I was under the impression that because of the announcement of the FOMC meeting, the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance would actually bump up to 30% irrespective of the announcement. Whatever the decision would have been, I was under the impression that a lot of trading would actually take place. Clearly I was wrong, isn't it? But it's going to be really interesting to see what these numbers do actually reflect tomorrow. And along with decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, in my episode yesterday, I did actually state that the volume of decentralized exchange might actually be higher. That is not necessarily the case, because if you look at the volume of Uniswap, guys, it is at $1.08 billion. Now, what is a bit strange so far as today's volume is concerned is that of the Numbers second exchange, and this time it is at Orca, and the volume is $726.82 million. Now, this might be the very first time, guys, that I've seen the second decentralized exchange volume cross the $500 mark, to be honest, and today it is at $726.82 million. So I really need to go ahead and check what is going on in Orca. I really am hoping we do not find out any notorious activity or some kind of fraudulent activities going on. Now the third one, guys, is PancakeSwap, and its volume is $432.53 million. Fourth one, guys, is Radium, and its volume is $413.8 million. And finally, guys, at number 5th, we have a new protocol or project called as DeepBook, and its volume is $393.25 million. Now, so far as DeepBook is concerned, guys, it is a decentralized central limit order book built on the Sui network. So let's see, guys, what I'll try to do is next week, I'll try to go ahead and explain what DeepBook is, what the protocol is, how it works, and quite a lot of other. Now let's quickly run through the volume of stablecoins, because as of now it is at $59.68 billion, And stablecoins, guys, account for 93.58% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And out of this $59.68 billion, Tether USDT is accounting for $45.46 billion. Circle USDC is at number 2nd, and its volume is $7.19 billion. And finally, guys, True USD, its volume is $86.9 million. Now let me very quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now so far as Bitcoin's market cap is concerned, to be honest, since the last 24 hours, there is not much movement, guys, and it is at $826 billion. Ethereum is at $272 billion. And surprisingly, guys, the 24-hour volume hasn't improved at all. The volume is pretty much the same even after the announcement. Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $10.8 billion, whereas Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $25.3 billion. Now, if you look at the dominance of Bitcoin, though, it has definitely picked up pace since the last 24 hours. It is at 51.16%, whereas Ethereum's dominance, guys, has actually gone down since the last 24 hours at 16.09%. So you can clearly state that since the last 24 hours, a lot of selling is actually going on in the world of Ethereum and not necessarily in the world of Bitcoin. Now, in today's episode, guys, let me very quickly run through the smart contracting platform. And I'm just looking at the top 5. And to be honest, guys, the number 3rd, that is Solana, has drastically improved since the last 7 days. Now, the number 1 is no surprise, it is Ethereum. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, its market cap is $272 billion. Second one is Binance BNB Chain, and its market cap is $44.77 billion. Now, the third one, guys, is Solana, and it is pretty close to overtaking Binance BNB Chain. And as of today, it is at $41.94 billion. And it's going to be really interesting to see what the first quarter is, not just for Solana, but also for Binance BNB Chain. And I wouldn't be surprised, guys, they are going to be aggressively competing against each other. The fourth one, guys, is Cardano, and it is miles behind number 3rd, that is Solana. And Cardano's market cap is $17.46 billion. And finally, guys, at number 5th is Avalanche, and its market cap is $12.24 billion. To be honest, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we do find some developments taking place in Avalanche, and it does actually overtake Cardano. Most likely, there is a very high possibility for that thing to happen, because roughly around 2 months ago, I did talk about the Avalanche Foundation issuing a lot of funds to go out and purchase a lot of NFTs, and because of that, a lot of the protocols that were dealing NFTs in the Avalanche platform pumped up in price as well. So these are factors we need to take into consideration when we're looking at any particular project or protocol, isn't it? Now, guys, before we look at the king of all kings, let me run through a protocol called a Core. And to be honest, guys, what I did, I randomly picked this Firecoin market cap. So let's see what Core is. So let me go ahead and explain who the founders are, what is the use case, and quite a lot of other. So Core, guys, is essentially designed to be compatible with Ethereum, allowing you to run Ethereum smart contracts and also decentralized apps or dApps. And the unique consensus mechanism of Core is Satoshi Plus, which is a combination of Bitcoin's proof of work and Ethereum's delegated proof of stake. And this pairing addresses the challenges of the blockchain trilemma by providing decentralization and scalability. And they also have something called as the Core DAO. And guys, the Core DAO acts as a governance which consists of a global team of contributors and is responsible for the development of the Satoshi Plus ecosystem. And the identities of the founders and contributors at this point of time are undisclosed. And the network, guys, is governed by Decentralized Autonomous Organization, also called as DAO, where the Core DAO manages transaction fees, governance parameters, proposes upgrades, and votes on proposals as well. And they also have incentives for developers, and the developers in the Core blockchain, guys, are rewarded with S-Prize tokens, also called as Satoshi Prize, for creating and contributing dApps or decentralized apps, encouraging the growth of the ecosystem. Now let me very briefly run through the tokenomics and distribution. Cause Core, guys, is a utility and governance token with a maximum supply of 2.1 billion coins, following a scarcity model similar to Bitcoin's hard cap. And token distribution, guys, includes allocation to node mining, core users, contributors, reserves, relay rewards, and the treasury as well. And they also have a burn model, which is similar to Ethereum's ultrasound money, where a percentage of the rewards and fields will be burned accordingly. And finally, guys, so far as the security measures is concerned, as I mentioned earlier, the Core blockchain uses Satoshi Plus consensus mechanism, which combines the security of Bitcoin proof of work with the efficiency of Ethereum's delegated proof of stake. And so far as the audit is concerned, guys, Certic is a specialized security firm that audits the Core network, thereby ensuring the reliability and the safety of the platform. So essentially, in summary guys, Core aims to tackle the challenges of decentralization and scalability through its innovative consensus mechanism, incentivizing developers to contribute to the ecosystem, and the governance structure and the security measures contribute to the overall reliability and sustainability of the core network. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Does that seem like an interesting project, or does it turn out to be an absolute scam? Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin, guys, is $42,109. And since the last 24 hours, it is actually down by 1.23%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 5.21%. Now, look, guys, in purest terms, Federal Chair Jerome Powell's decision on not increasing the interest rate hike should ideally have pumped up the price of Bitcoin. But Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market, or even the stock market, does not work in purest sense, isn't it? So that is unfortunately the nature of how the cryptocurrency world works. And unfortunately, guys, since the last 24 hours, it has actually gone down. And so far as Ethereum is concerned, it has also gone down, and the price of Ethereum right now is $2,266. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by almost 2%. As a matter of fact, it is down by 1.99%. And since the last 7 days, guys, it is also up by exactly 1.99%. Definitely a great coincidence, isn't it? And Binance BNB Coin, guys, it is below the $300 mark. And as of today, it is at $298. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.69%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 3.20%. Now, guys, regarding Binance BNB chain, while I was just going live on my podcast, I did see some information regarding Inscription Marketplace. And looks like in the Binance app and on the website, the Inscription place is live as well. And looks like it is a go-to place for all things BRC20 and inscription related, so definitely feel free to go and check it out. And I'm pretty much sure the Binance app is updated on that as well. Now, guys, let's discuss the most important thing, and that is regarding the FOMC meeting. And what has happened is that the FOMC has decided to maintain the target range for the federal fund rate at 5.25 to 5.50%. And guys, in considering any adjustments to the target range for the federal funds rate, the committee will carefully assess incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks as well. Now, look, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is, in the show notes below, definitely go ahead and check out the official information. So let me go ahead and share what the information actually states via the website. And then what I'm going to be doing, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on how this news would actually impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, if you actually go through the official article, guys, the statement does actually indicate that the economy has been growing really well, but job gains have slowed down just a little bit since last year, but they are still extremely strong. And so far as the unemployment rate is concerned, it is extremely low, and that is a great sign, isn't it? And guys, regarding the inflation, it also states that the inflation has come down somewhat, but it is still higher than desired, and the goal of the committee, guys, is to achieve maximum employment and keep inflation around 2% over the long period. And guys, the FOMC committee also believes that the risks to achieving these goals are becoming more balanced, and the FOMC has decided to keep the federal rate, that is the interest rate at which the banks lend to each others, within a specific range of 5.25% to 5.50%. And guys, the committee will carefully consider adjusting this rate based on new data, economic trends, and risk assessments. And guys, finally, regarding future rate changes, the committee is not planning to decrease the interest rate range until it is more confident that the inflation is moving steady towards the target of 2%. And look, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is, in the show notes below, I've gone ahead and published the YouTube link where Jerome Powell did actually go live, and this is exactly what he talked about. And what he also said is that the committee will continue to reduce its holding of certain financial assets, that is treasury securities and mortgage-backed securities, and this is part of its strategy to manage the economy. And guys, listen, he also said that there is a strong commitment to bringing inflation back to the target of 2%. And he also stressed, guys, that the committee will keep a close eye on various factors such as job market conditions, inflation pressures, expectations, and the global development. Now, look, guys, I'm really hoping we do not find out any geopolitical chaos, because that will definitely have a massive impact on the US economy, and more importantly, on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as well, isn't it? And guys, listen, in the session that he had, he also said that if any risk emerges that could hinder the achievement of the goals, the committee is prepared to adjust its monetary policy stance accordingly. So essentially, guys, in simple terms, if you look at the official news that is published in the website, And also, if you listen to what Jerome Powell says, the FOMC committee is saying that the economy is doing well, but there are still some concerns about inflation, and they are keeping interest rates steady for now, but will be watching closely and may adjust them in the near future based on how the economy and the inflation are behaving. So essentially, guys, they want to make sure that both employment and inflation are in good place according to their goals. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what happens in the next coming months. Now listen, guys, in 2024, there is massive election taking place, not just in US, but in 40 other countries as well. And this announcement, guys, by Jerome Powell in the FOMC meeting is definitely going to have a massive consequence, not just in US, because what they say is echoed across other worlds as well. Now listen, guys, so far as cryptocurrency world is concerned, let me go ahead and share two mainstream articles. And Timothy Enneking, the managing director of Digital Capital Management, said that Satoshi Nakamoto is rolling over in his grave as traders watch the Fed's news. Now mind you, guys, he actually said this before the announcement. And to be honest, guys, he's partly right as well, isn't it? Because look, guys, I believe when you talk about Bitcoin, the goal of Bitcoin's invention is separation of money and the state. Now, when will that thing happen, or really, I'm not sure. Maybe at least a couple of decades, maybe a bit longer than that as well. And Cointelegraph actually published an article after the announcement, and what that article stated is that Bitcoin process stumbles after Fed dashes hopes for rate cuts in March. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what the announcement is in March. And at that point of time, guys, we're also edging towards Bitcoin halving, isn't it? So the news by FOMC meeting is definitely going to have a massive impact. Now listen, guys, let me go ahead and quickly share my thoughts and opinion on how the FOMC meeting could potentially impact the price of Bitcoin. Because look, guys, the impact of Federal Reserve statements on the price of Bitcoin can be influenced by various factors, and it is really important to note that the cryptocurrency market is highly speculative, isn't it? And they can be influenced by a multitude of factors beyond traditional economic indicators. So what I think is this, guys, so far short term is concerned, if the Federal Reserve signals a shift in monetary policy, such as let's say raising interest rates due to concerns about inflation, it might actually lead to a short-term decrease in the price of Bitcoin. And cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are often considered alternative investments, and higher interest rate, guys, can actually attract investors to traditional assets with fixed returns. And so far as market sentiment is concerned, immediate reaction to Federal Reserve statements can be driven by market sentiment and trader reactions, and positive sentiments about economic growth may boost confidence in traditional markets rather than cryptocurrency market. And because of that, investors may try to shift away from riskier assets like cryptocurrency in the short term. But so far as long-term impact is concerned, guys, what about Bitcoin as inflation hedge? Because Bitcoin is seen as a hedge against inflation, something similar to gold, isn't it? And if the Federal Reserve expresses concerns about rising inflation and maintaining an accommodative monetary policy, it could be viewed as positive and supportive for Bitcoin in the long term, isn't it? And that's one of the reasons why a lot of the Bitcoin advocates and maximalists do want the inflation to be high, which is so sad, isn't it? And let's say if they do go out and decide to increase the interest rate hike, investors may see cryptocurrency as a store of value in terms of inflationary pressure. And so far as market maturity is concerned, look, guys, over the long term, the price of Bitcoin may be influenced by its maturation of an asset class, and if it continues to gain acceptance as a legitimate investment, it may become less susceptible to short-term fluctuation based on central bank policies. And right now, we also have the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF, isn't it? But so far as global economic conditions is concerned, Bitcoin's price can be impacted by broader economic conditions. And guys, if the Federal Reserve's actions contribute to global economic uncertainty or financial instability, investors may turn to alternative assets, including Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, simply for diversification, isn't it? So it's really important to emphasize that predicting the short-term and long-term movements of Bitcoin or any other financial assets is extremely challenged, and multitude factors contribute to its price dynamics. And listen, guys, investors should consider a range of factors, including macroeconomic conditions, regulatory development, technological development, and overall market sentiment when assessing the potential impact of Federal Reserve actions on the cryptocurrency market. Now, guys, I'm looking at the greed and fear index for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and at this point of time, it is still neutral, and the number is 52, which is green. But listen, guys, if there is any geopolitical chaos right now, I'm pretty much sure the price of Bitcoin will definitely pump to the moon. Now, guys, let's discuss some drama in the world of Ripple. Now, listen, guys, it's really important to note that Ripple has not been hacked. Rather, Ripple's co-founder's account has been hacked, and I'm seeing so many news and articles so many so-called YouTube specialists stating that XRP or Ripple has been hacked. That unfortunately is incorrect news. So what has happened is that Ripple's co-founder and executive chairman Chris Larsen, his account has been hacked, and he did actually reveal yesterday that hackers stole approximately $112 million worth of XRP. And look guys, because of that, the price of XRP did crash as well below the 5% mark. And guys, this incident did actually take place on Tuesday, and Larsen personally confirmed the losses via Twitter, or now called as X, so his tweet is in the show notes below. But what he stated that he was quickly able to catch the problem and notify exchanges to freeze the affected addresses. Now I'm pretty much sure the exchange most likely will comply to this, isn't it? And centralized exchanges do have the power to do that, and law enforcement is already involved at this point of time. Now listen guys, before Chris Larsen broke out this news, there's a Twitter ID called as ZachXBT. That Twitter account was the one that actually broke the news, and what the account also stated that the XRP funds that were stolen have already been laundered through several cryptocurrency exchanges and platforms, including Binance, Kraken as well. And one of Binance's spokesperson, that is Simon Matthews, did tell TechCrunch that the company is aware and actively supporting the investigation. Now look guys, this particular hack is the largest theft of cryptocurrency in 2024 so far, and the 20th largest theft of cryptocurrency in recorded history. Definitely not ideal, isn't it? And guys, listen, if you want to do some analysis, according to Unchained data from XRP Scan, the hacked wallet was called Ripple 50 and was activated by a separate wallet called as Funding Wallet 1, and that did actually take place on 5th of November 2018. And guys, the Funding Wallet 1 was activated by Larsen's account on 6th of February 2013, about a month after his own account. Now listen guys, this is creating a lot of chaos, isn't it? And because of that, the XRP army and XRP holders are calling for the co-founders to disclose their crypto wallets and even the XRP holdings in an effort to improve transparency, while others like Thinking Crypto podcast host Tony Edward are calling for Larsen to distance himself from Ripple as much as possible. So there's massive chaos going on right now. So it's going to be really interesting to see guys how the price of XRP or Ripple reacts in the next coming days. Now guys, let's discuss some unfortunate news all the way from India. And in India guys, the government has decided to maintain high taxes on cryptocurrency transactions despite hope for a change. Now the contract structure guys includes a 30% tax on profits and a 1% tax dedicated at source, also called as TDS, on all crypto transactions. And the finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced the budget without making any adjustments to these controversial taxes. Now unfortunately guys, this is definitely not good for India, isn't it? And the article guys is published by Cointelegraph that states that the taxes by Indian government has prompted as many as 5 million crypto traders to move their transactions offshore, costing the government a potential $420 million in revenue since it was introduced in July of 2022. Now another thing to remember guys, in India, around I believe 16th of April, there's Prime Minister election taking place as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see if the topic of cryptocurrency does get mainstream adoption. Now guys, let's discuss some news all the way from UK. And looks like the UK police have seized £1.4 billion worth of BTC or Bitcoin. So what happened guys is that a former takeaway worker called as Jian Wen is accused of helping a fugitive fraudster called as Jim Crane, who laundered profits from a $5 billion investment fund. And so far as Jian Wen is concerned, she is considered as a front person in the scheme, and UK authorities guys seized over 61,000 Bitcoins, which is valued at £1.4 billion from digital wallets linked to Wen, and she is currently on trial at Southwark Crown Court, facing 3 counts of money laundering between October 2017 and January 2022. Now look guys, how did the UK government seize that Bitcoins? The only way that is possible is if she voluntarily goes and transfers these funds, isn't it? So the private key absolutely cannot be hacked, so she might have voluntarily gone ahead and given 61,000 Bitcoins to the UK authorities. Imagine guys handing over 61,000 Bitcoins absolutely to anyone. Absolutely devastating for her, but definitely the right move. But so far as Jian Wen is concerned, she denies the charges, stating that she was not involved in the initial fraud and did not have access to all the Bitcoins in questions. Now if you do want to find out more information guys, the information is published via Sky News in UK. So those were some macro level news guys on the cryptocurrency world. Now let's look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news guys, to be honest, I'm going to share my honest thoughts and opinion because it talks about blockchain technology in the healthcare sector. So the Department of Healthcare is collaborating with ADHDS and MHD GCC for a pioneering healthcare initiative, and Dr. Norio Al-Ghaiti, Ashraf Malak and Kareem Shahin have signed Memorandum of Understanding at Arab Health 2024, and three entities are joining forces to assess blockchain potential in healthcare, and a neutral platform called as Pharma Ledger Association is being used for technology and framework assessment. Now look, guys, the moment there is an association involved in blockchain technology, it just means that there is a central entity that is taking control over the blockchain. So definitely not ideal. But let me go ahead and share bits and pieces of information regarding this news, because Dr. Noro Al-Ghaiti is underscoring the commitment to healthcare technology, and the initiative is highlighting blockchain's role in enhancing data security and interoperability as well. And the emphasis, guys, is being placed on patient gaining control over data access, and blockchain's impact on claims management and clinical trials is being emphasized as well. And Kareem Shahin is highlighting ADHDS's focus on data security and also traceability. And so far as ADHDS is concerned, they are a leading technical aspect, leveraging health data management expertise, and the success of Malapi as the first HIE in the MENA region is being highlighted, and MSD GCC CAS is bringing strategic expertise and experience in blockchain application. And guys, the announcement was made at Middle East's largest medical expo, and guests were invited to explore the latest healthcare innovation at the Emirates Health Pavilion. And so far as the stand is concerned, guys, they were situated in Hall 5 in Stand B10, and guests were encouraged to visit and witness cutting-edge healthcare technology. And guys, Arab Health 2024 is being held at World Trade Center from 29th of Jan to 1st of Feb 2024. Now look, guys, so far as blockchain technology is concerned, unfortunately, I hate saying this, blockchain technology has limited use case, and it's so important that we truly understand the limited nature of blockchain technology. Now, a lot of them in the cryptocurrency and blockchain world state that blockchain technology is the fourth industrial revolution. I hate to say it, I disagree. The more you understand what Bitcoin is, you truly understand what Bitcoin is not, and the limited nature of blockchain technology, and it's so critical that we truly understand the whole blockchain trilemma problem, that is security, scalability, and so-called decentralization, or distributed, how I'd like to call it. Now in this case, guys, unfortunately having an association defeats the whole purpose of having a peer-to-peer open blockchain, isn't it? Now most likely they might be using a centralized or permission blockchain, so rather than using a permission or centralized blockchain, it would make more sense and it will be more cost effective to go ahead and use a software within the association, and that would actually tackle cost, time, and offer better quality as well. Those are my honest thoughts. Now guys, let's discuss second news, and this news is all the way from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, called as GenAI for All. So let me go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on it. Because Saudi Arabia, guys, is launching Generative Artificial Intelligence for All initiative, and the initiative aims to strengthen digital cooperation and AI capabilities. And the announcement, guys, was made by Saudi Minister of Communications and Information Technology Abdullah Al-Swaha, and they're targeting member states of the Digital Cooperation Organization. And this move, guys, reflects Saudi's commitment to advancing AI research, development, and ethical governance as well. And this initiative, guys, is led by Internal Center for Artificial Intelligence Research and Ethics, also called as ICAIRE or ICARE, and it is under the Saudi Data and Intelligence Authority, and they're focusing on promoting AI ethics and facilitating capacity building in the field. And this initiative, guys, was unveiled at the Third General Assembly of the Digital Cooperation Organization, and it was chaired by Bahrain and attended by officials from 16 member states. And guys, high-level delegations from partner members and observers also participated in it. And this move, guys, aligns with Saudi Arabia's efforts to support Digital Cooperation Organization's mission, isn't it? So definitely positive news. And listen, guys, the aim is to enhance digital inclusiveness and prosperity. And this move, guys, demonstrates the kingdom's dedication to expediting the digital transformation, and they emphasize supporting generative artificial intelligence for global benefit. And this move represents a significant step in Saudi Arabia's journey to becoming a leader in the digital and AI domains. And this strategic move, guys, underscores Saudi's commitment to artificial intelligence ethics and global cooperation. And it definitely showcases Saudi Arabia's role in shaping the future of AI on an international scale as well. Now let me go ahead and share some points on how I think blockchain technology could potentially be merged with this news. Now mind you, guys, it's really important to note that while I'm reading these points, you truly need to understand the blockchain trilemma problem as well, which I just mentioned earlier. Now listen, so far as blockchain technology merging with artificial intelligence, it can definitely work on 6 areas. that is decentralized governance, immutable records, secure data sharing, smart contract for ethics, tokenized incentives, and also tamper-resistant progress. So far as decentralized governance is concerned, guys, blockchain technology could facilitate transparent decision making for AI systems, but you also need to factor into consideration who actually has these tokens. And look, as historically I've noticed, whenever there is a so-called open blockchain protocol, a lot of the tokens are actually held by selected individuals, and that defeats the whole purpose of decentralization, or distributed, how I like to call it, isn't it? The second one, guys, is immutable records. Now look, blockchain technology can definitely create unalterable records for tracking AI developments and usage. But listen, guys, it's so important to understand that this is applicable only in the oldest blockchain, or blocks that have longer chain. So Ethereum is definitely the one which is leading the pack, isn't it? So rather than building it on newer blockchain, it would make more sense to go ahead and do it on an older blockchain. Now, so far secure data sharing is concerned, blockchain enhances collaboration through decentralized and secure data sharing. Now, this particular point, guys, does make a lot of sense. Let's say for government institutions and big entities, in order to go ahead and securely share your data, and it becomes next to impossible for someone to go ahead and hack your data. And that is definitely an area where artificial intelligence and blockchain technology can merge. Now, so far smart contracts for ethics is concerned, look, guys, blockchain technology can automate and enforce ethical guidelines using blockchain-based smart contracts. This is definitely an area worth looking into. Now, so far as tokenized incentive is concerned, look, guys, Larry Fink did actually state that Bitcoin might be a digital asset, but the next big move is tokenization. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next coming months and years, a lot of the firms will be aggressively focusing on tokenization. And when you talk about tokenization, by using blockchain technology, tokens can be used as incentives for collaborative AI efforts. Definitely a very strong possibility. And if you're someone who's listening to this podcast, this is an area I would definitely recommend you to look into. And finally, guys, tamper-resistant progress. Now, it's really important to note, guys, so far as blockchain technology is concerned, it ensures a trustworthy and tamper-resistant records for AI achievements, isn't it? Again, this would only be applicable to all the blockchain, as neo blockchains, guys, could potentially have a 51% attack. Those are my honest thoughts. So those were the news, guys, on the cryptocurrency blockchain world. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB, listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Mark, who asks, what happens to the funds that are seized by governments? This is such a brilliant question, Mark, and the answer is pretty simple. I would hope so, that if a government goes ahead and seizes any Bitcoins or any other funds for that matter, most of the funds, or pretty much all of the funds, are given back to people who are affected, or investors who have gone ahead and lost. Those are my honest thoughts. But because of the nature of open blockchain, we can definitely go ahead and track where the original funds have come from, and then I'm pretty much sure they're going to do more research and investigation, and I really am hoping that the funds are actually given back to them. But let's say if these funds are seized due to, let's say, money laundering or illicit financing, I'm pretty much sure what the governments will do is they'll try to keep it and try to hodl it, or they'll try to go ahead and sell it as and when the need arises. Now, I very specifically remember that Tim Draper, one of the OGs of Bitcoin, around June of 2014, he bought roughly around 30,000 Bitcoins. If I'm not mistaken, he bought roughly around 2,600 odd Bitcoin, which was actually confiscated by US Marshals from the whole Silk Road black market, isn't it? And he did pay roughly around $18 to $19 million for it back then. And back then, the price of Bitcoin was $600 to $650 only. So imagine he has roughly around 29,600 Bitcoins, which he purchased at somewhere between $600 to $650. And now the price of one Bitcoin is around $40,000 mark, isn't it? Imagine the amount of profit he has made. So to answer your question, what I do think is, let's say if there is a rug pull and if the government has gone ahead and seized the funds, I really am hoping they actually give it back to the people who have genuinely lost their money, or investors who have lost their money. Or let's say if they have seized the funds due to illicit activities or legal funding, a lot of the Bitcoin or even Ethereum or other shit coins, they're most likely put up for auction, isn't it? Those are my honest thoughts, but excellent question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes under Crypto Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.